shouting from, that is thugs, that really hit him. Some information I got from one of the fans who rushed to Case Clinic told me that on his way home, he was hit and they damaged the skull and also behind the neck. He sustained serious injuries, and when he was rushed to hospital, it was very hard for him, much as they did all they could, but the injuries were very severe. We pray that the Lord may strengthen Ugandans and call upon police. Now, this happened in Machindye, and I can say I'm a bit well conversant with Machindye. And Machindye is one place that you can say has a lot of challenges in terms of security. Most of these groups, so David Awori succumbed to these injuries at Case Clinic in Kampala after being attacked by a mob. We call upon security. I remember there was a time Machindye had another district called Henry Chitambula. Now, Chitambula with other security agencies had a way they worked on these groups. I've ever been a victim of these groups in Machindye, and so are many people there. There are just a few families and a few areas that I think if security is very, very up at the game and they can take them on without this issue of omwana wa gundi, I think we can go very far. Because what happens, these boys there, once they are touched, I'll tell you, that is so-and-so's son. Not that their fathers are in big places in government, but most of them belong to families that originally occupied Machindye. Judy, good morning.
Good morning, Robert. You start off with a rather sad story indeed, when the news surfaced of the death of the SC Villa captain. It was really a sad realization, given that, as you rightfully said, in just the past 2 months, Sydney Gogonyo was also lost in the most absurd way. The sports fraternity has started off the year with really sad notes on there. Away from that, allow me to say good morning to you. You are watching Good Morning Uganda, and we come to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and indeed, we always do this together with you on the other side. And that is myself with Robert Chirabo Nyonyito. But
also in court, of course, it's also death. The Susan Magara murder
case. Yeah.
Now, Hajara Nakandi and Uvumbo Musa Abasi, convicts in the murder of Susan Magara, was sentenced to suffer death penalty. And the others, in this case, the other 7 convicts, to spend the rest of their lives in prison.
Staying with court also, I think I also watched a story of, you know, the musician Young Mulo. He was also convicted for these people, murder cases of men who hit border cyclists and steal their bikes. He also was involved in such a case, and evidence was also shown, foolproof on camera, as there were he and another person he was with, a counterpart. They were beating, killing.
Actually, that is not the musician, Young Mulo. No. That is
not.
It's not the musician.
Wow, I thought
no, it's
it
not
was
the musician. Just clarification for that.
For the whole time, I really thought it was the musician.
No, it is not the musician.
It really took me aback.
That thug you saw on camera, I think about 2 years back. It's just a name he uses, Young Mulo. You know, in that fraternity, Young Mulo means a young man that has money. Money is Mulo.
Oh,
so it is not, if someone says Njagala Mulo, they are referring to money.
Really?
That's why I told you, my stay in Machindye and I had so much connection. So he just named himself Young Mulo, but he's not the Young Mulo, the artist.
Wow, 2 facts I'm learning this morning. Young Mulo meaning money.
Money.
I did not know until today.
Papu Mulo, what you know wedde.
Wow.
You just have to hurry and touch your pockets and not work Mulo.
Oh wow. But anyway, also the realization. Wow.
How
but
do
anyways,
you without Mulo?
Also the realization of the fact that it's not Young Mulo, the musician. It's still sad, but I'm at least there's a bit of a relief, because the whole time I thought it was Young Mulo, the musician, and I was quite disappointed with, you know, when you're a public figure and then you're on with evidence on camera.
This is another Kafani criminal who was got on camera with a colleague. He picked a stone, hit the head.
Yes.
It was a very nasty incident.
Right, Robert, what do we have on the local scene this morning?
Oh, well, let's begin with President Yoweri Museveni in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Now, President Yoweri Museveni arrived in Dar es Salaam for a 2-day working visit at an invitation of Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan. He was received at Julius Nyerere International Airport by Tanzania's Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, Uganda's High Commissioner to Tanzania, Colonel Fred Mwesije, and other senior officials. President Museveni inspected a silent guard of order mounted in his honor and later watched a cultural dance performance before proceeding to his presidential lodge and his official residence in Dar es Salaam. At Entebbe International Airport, he was seen off by the Vice President Jessica Alupo, Minister for Presidency Midi Babalanda, and Head of Public Service Lucy Nachove. During the visit, President Museveni and President Samia Suluhu are expected to hold talks on bilateral cooperation, East African community integration, trade and investment, infrastructure development, peace and security. The Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, and the Second Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honorable Dr. Crispus Kionga, met the Parliamentary Committee on Presidential Affairs and briefed them on their mandate, programs and funding issues. The committee was led by Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of the committee. The meeting took place at the office of the Prime Minister in Kampala. Nabanja called on the committee members to ensure the government delivers services to the people. Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of the committee, said that they are ready to cooperate with all government entities to serve Ugandans as they perform their oversight function. The Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure has summoned officials from the Ministry of Works and Transport to appear before it today, Thursday, the 6th of August, 2026, after they failed to honor yesterday's invitation. The committee wants the ministry to respond to findings from its ongoing investigations into the operations of the expressway toll system and the private contractor managing the toll collections, whose operations have reportedly not been audited since 2022. The committee chairperson, Mwine Mpaka, has warned that failure to comply with the summons will attract legal action. The Ministry of Works and Transport had been directed by the Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure on July 23rd, 2026 to appear before the committee on August 5th to respond to issues regarding the operations and management of express toll. However, the committee members expressed disappointment after the ministry officials, led by Minister Fred Byabakama, failed to appear despite having been formally notified. Committee chairperson Mwine Mpaka said the officials are expected to explain the procurement process that led to the appointment of the private toll operator and why the contractor has reportedly not been audited for several years. Mpaka adds that with more toll roads planned, including the proposed Mpigi toll road, Parliament must understand the challenges affecting the current toll system to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Following the ministry's failure to appear, the committee has issued fresh summons requiring the ministry officials to appear on August 6th, which is today, and failure to comply will result in legal action in accordance with parliamentary procedures. And finally, from the local scene, since 20th July 2023, government through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development and the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization Company started implementing the Electricity Access Scale-Up project. Government received $608 million in funding for the World Bank for the implementation of the Electricity Access Scale-Up project, EASP, to be implemented over a period of 5 years. The Minister of Energy, Okasia Opolot, has informed the Parliament of the process. Okasia noted that there has been slow pace of new consumer connections by UEDCL due to low suppliers given tenders to supply connection materials not meeting their obligation in timely manner. He added that the project needs about 40 billion shillings to compensate project affected persons. With the reality on ground, the MPs found the minister's statement wanting. After succeeding from Umeme, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited, through Ministry of Energy, has so far made 79,000 connections out of the 896,600 targeted connections. Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa directed Minister to return to Parliament next Tuesday with a comprehensive report on issues raised by members to make conclusive decisions. The project has 5 components, including grid expansion, connectivity, financial intermediation, energy access in refugee hosting communities, project implementation support and affordable modern energy solutions, and contingent energy response. And with that story, we now come to the end of our local stories, where compensation. World Bank gives us money for a project, but now you need about 40 billion. You think about that money to compensate affected persons. 40 billion can also still do very much on the project.
All right.
But we need to compensate people that are going to be affected by the project. And I don't think that World Bank, that is something that our donors, they may give you money for the project. Now, compensation, they believe, give your land. If an electric pole is going to pass, give your land.
Yeah, those are not some of their liabilities to handle. Let's head straight to the global scene. We're starting off, of course, with the sports story of Infantino, who has really caused a lot of chaos in matters of football, with trying to sell shares to the FIFA Forward Enterprise, by the FIFA Forward Enterprise. Now, Gianni Infantino did apologize. Finally, he apologized for errors he made in the controversial plans to sell off stakes in the competitions to private investors. But he will remain FIFA president after all, and that is after receiving a backing of senior executives in a meeting in Morocco. That was something that many people did not expect. Many thought that he would leave, but he has received the backing of senior executives in that line. And Infantino summoned members of the management board to FIFA's Africa office in Rabat on Wednesday, following mounting criticism of his aborted proposals, with World Football Governing Body releasing a statement of support 4 hours after the meeting ended. This is on top of European football's governing body UEFA and much criticism that came from within FIFA itself. Thereafter, a statement followed in the aftermath of that meeting with FIFA, that is represented by Matthias Graftsson, the General Secretary, confirming and reaffirming their full support for Infantino as president of the FIFA.
Well, there's a message from Sky. I've been looking at there's a tweet.
Right.
I think that was very clear, and our producers forwarded it, that FIFA sent out scripted letters to football associations offering words to endorse the president for re-election as the now Sky News can reveal exclusive from Sky.
Yes, indeed, and I definitely do trust Sky Sports on that matter. They always have the detail and the primary information.
So these things we are going for.
I know. The man called for meetings. He called for meetings.
Not just letting go like that.
And he had to say, I'm sorry. I wonder where that leaves his relationship with Donald Trump, because I mean, it's quite evident that they were in bed together.
Trump is a businessman.
Yes, you can say that again.
He's a businessman. Trump is a businessman. And there are certain things he understands very well. Now, that is the tweet. Yes, I think that is the tweet.
Yes, it is. It is by Sky News. Anyways, let's move on to another story. This is a rather sad story of an influencer who was shot live during, well, you can't be shot live in that sense, but what I mean, he was shot while he was doing a live streaming video. And the event was, exposed and seen live as his viewers were following his live streaming. He is a Mexican social media influencer, Cesar Gastelum, who was shot and killed while live streaming with friends outside a fast food restaurant. Now, that is in Mexico, in Sinaloa. Gastelum had close to 600,000 followers on TikTok and was known for comedy content. He was broadcasting live outside the restaurant with two friends and reportedly dressed as delivery drivers as part of a challenge for the video. Now, during the stream, a motorcycle carrying two people pulled up beside them. Footage from the live stream appeared to show the motorcycle driver shooting at Gastelum's head directly, and the broadcast cut out at the moment. You can imagine what his viewers experienced in that live moment of watching everything unfold and as fast as possible. Anyways, let's come to Africa. The head of the World Health Organization visited Kinshasa, capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, yesterday, warning that Ebola outbreak in the east of the country was spreading faster than our scale-up of the response, quote unquote. The 17th Ebola outbreak in DRC's history is already the fastest spreading and the second most deadly outbreak on record. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom did visit and has visited twice this summer since the public health emergency centered in the eastern Ituri province was first declared in mid-March. Now, his visit coincided with a health scare in the Maluku municipality in northeastern Kinshasa, where a passenger on a crowded ship died with Ebola-like symptoms, and authorities were rushing to isolate it and conduct checks. Now, the boat was mainly transporting timber, but that roughly 200 people were also on board, and the barge had come from Kisangani, originally far to the east in DRC, and the isolation measures were a repercussion or precaution, and that the deceased had not yet been tested or diagnosed with Ebola. Man, the situation in Congo is quite dire.
Now, that is a reason to thank our government and our President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, His Excellency, with the wise leadership on how we can fight such diseases.
Right.
Because Uganda, we don't have anyone suffering from Ebola. But remember, we had imported a case, one or two, due to Ebola. And if we speak today, we are totally
declared Ebola free.
Have we completed the days?
Yes. Dr. Chris Bariomunsi declared it.
So now if we are totally Ebola free.
Right.
But remember, we had a spillover here. We had cases, they tracked contacts. So we want to thank our government. And I remember the World Health Organization chief commending our method. And also, not to forget to thank Ugandans, because government alone and the Ministry of Health cannot work if you people are defiant as Ugandans. But thanks for the vigilancy. Thank you so much, Ugandans. We are Ebola free, and we pray for our neighbors and our doctors that went to help the other side as well.
All right. What do we have in the dailies this morning?
Oh, we just have so many stories, but of course, beginning with a sad story of the Villa captain, whom the thugs killed. A picture there of the young lad,
28
very
years.
promising. And then schools defy government timetable report. Education Ministry directs action on rebellious head teachers. Still, we have President Museveni on a working visit to Tanzania, and Magara murder to get death sentence, and the rest get life imprisonment. Now moving on to the Daily Monitor. Cost of bride. What are we referring to there? The Daily Monitor has the details. Now Magara case, death of 2 and life imprisonment for the rest. Now we have new curriculum lifts math, English and competency studies. Well, now let's have Julie give us the rest of the dailies from Kenya and Tanzania.
Right, let's look at Tanzania there. And the headline is Africa's 6 homegrown funds for infrastructure. That's the headline. And also the silent struggle affecting graduates' path to employment. Struggle seems quite common for East Africa. Now, Tanzania's edible oil crisis, how imports export local jobs. And businesses push for faster removal of trade barriers to unlock East African market, the East Africa Community Market. Now let's head to Kenya, that is with the Daily Nation. Gachagua conditions for Ruto defectors. What are those conditions? In the Daily Nation. And how TSC will score 34,000 teachers for promotions, but also a rough season for top politicians facing auction. And UDA ODM summon troops for 2027 plans. Also, Ruuri waterway where killers dump victims, river of death, so it's called. Can you imagine? That brings us to the end of what we have as updates this morning, and we're taking a short break right now. When we get back, it's another conversation to chew on as we all share our 2 cents. It matters definitely of national importance. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. It is Good Morning Uganda. We'll be right back in just a jiffy. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
My colleague Julie Nantabamusisi any minute from now, but so much is happening in the country. However, allow me to first send my sympathies to the sports fraternity in this country, more so members of Sports Club Villa, who lost their team captain yesterday in a very unfortunate incident where we saw a group of thugs that pounced on him on his way back home that later led to his death at Case Clinic in Kampala. Now, very unfortunate incident. May the Lord strengthen the family, the sports fraternity. Not so long when we lost Sidin Gogonya, and now here we are, we lose again another young man full of energy and a future in the sports fraternity. And not only him, even in the Masaza Cup, also there is a player who died, just a picture that had been previously on the screen. That one is from the Masaza, but now here we are talking about that of Sports Club Villa, their team captain who passed away yesterday at Case Clinic after sustaining injuries resulting from that is thugs that really hit him. Some information I got from one of the fans who rushed to Case Clinic told me that on his way home he was hit and they damaged the skull and also behind the neck. He sustained serious injuries, and when he was rushed to hospital, it was very hard for him, much as they did all they could, but the injuries were very severe. We pray that the Lord may strengthen Ugandans and call upon police. Now, this happened in Machindye, and I can say I'm a bit well conversant with Machindye. And Machindye is one place that you can say has a lot of challenges in terms of security. Most of these groups, so David Awori succumbed to these injuries at Case Clinic in Kampala after being attacked by a mob. We call upon security. I remember there was a time Machindye had another district called Henry Chitambula. Now, Chitambula with other security agencies had a way they worked on these groups. I've ever been a victim of these groups in Machindye, and so are many people there. There are just a few families and a few areas that I think if security is very, very up at the game and they can take them on without this issue of Omwana wa Gundi, I think we can go very far. Because what happens, these boys there, once they are touched, I'll tell you, that is so-and-so's son. Not that their fathers are in big places in government, but most of them belong to families that originally occupied Machindye. Judy, good morning.
Good morning, Robert. You start off with a rather sad story indeed when that the news surfaced of the death of the SC Villa captain, it was really a sad realization, given that, as you rightfully said, in just the past 2 months, Sydney Gogonyo was also lost in the most absurd way. The sports fraternity has started off the year with really sad notes on there. Away from that, allow me say good morning to you. You are watching Good Morning Uganda, and we come to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and indeed, we always do this together with you on the other side. And that is myself with Robert Chirabo.
But also in court, of course, it's also death. The Susan Magara murder
case. Yeah.
Now, Hajara Nakandi and Uvumbo Musa Abasi, convicts in the murder of Susan Magara, was sentenced to suffer death penalty. And the others in this case, the other 7 convicts, to spend the rest of their lives in prison.
Staying with court also, I think I also watched a story of, you know, the musician Young Mulo. He was also convicted for these people, murder cases of men who hit border cyclists and steal their bikes. He also was involved in such a case, and evidence was also shown, foolproof on camera, as there were he and another person he was with, a counterpart. They were beating, killing.
Actually, that is not the musician, Yanga Muro. No. That is
not.
It's not the musician.
Wow, I thought
it's not the musician. Just clarification for that.
For the whole time, I really thought it was the musician.
No, it is not the musician.
It really took me aback.
That thug you saw on camera, I think about 2 years back. He's just a name he uses, Yanga Muro. You know, in that fraternity, Yanga Muro means a young man that has money. Money is Muro. Oh, so it is not, if someone says Njagara Muro, they are referring to money. Really? That's why I told you, my stay in much India and I had so much connection. So he just named himself Yanga Muro, but he's not the Yanga Muro, the artist. Wow, 2 facts I'm learning this morning. Young Mulo meaning money. Money. I did not know until today. Papu Muro, what we know wedde. Wow. You just have to hurry and touch your pockets and not work Muro. Oh wow. But anyway, also the realization. Wow. How but anyways, without Muro? Also the realization of the fact that it's not Young Mulo, the musician. It's still sad, but I'm at least there's a bit of a relief, because the whole time I thought it was Young Mulo, the musician, I was quite disappointed with, you know, when you're a public figure and then you're with evidence on camera. This is another Kafane criminal who was got on camera with a colleague. He picked a stone, hit the head. Yes. It was a very nasty incident. Right, Robert, what do we have on the local scene this morning? Oh, well, let's begin with President Yoweri Museveni in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Now, President Yoweri Museveni arrived in Dar es Salaam for a 2-day working visit at an invitation of Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan. He was received at Julius Nyerere International Airport by Tanzania's Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, Uganda's High Commissioner to Tanzania, Colonel Fred Mwesije, and other senior officials. President Museveni inspected a silent guard of honor mounted in his honor and later watched a cultural dance performance before proceeding to his presidential lodge and his official residence in Dar es Salaam. At Entebbe International Airport, he was seen off by the Vice President Jessica Alupo, Minister for Presidency Midi Babalanda, and Head of Public Service Lucy Nachobe. During the visit, President Museveni and President Samia Suluhu are expected to hold talks on bilateral cooperation, East African community integration, trade and investment, infrastructure development, peace and security. The Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Anabanj, and the Second Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honorable Dr. Crispus Kionga, met the Parliamentary Committee on Presidential Affairs and briefed them on their mandate, programs and funding issues. The committee was led by Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of the committee. The meeting took place at the office of the Prime Minister in Kampala. Nabanja called on the committee members to ensure the government delivers services to the people. Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of the committee, said that they are ready to cooperate with all government entities to serve Ugandans as they perform their oversight function. The Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure has summoned officials from the Ministry of Works and Transport to appear before it today, Thursday, the 6th of August, 2026, after they failed to honor yesterday's invitation. The committee wants the ministry to respond to findings from its ongoing investigations into the operations of the expressway toll system and the private contractor managing the toll collections, whose operations have reportedly not been audited since 2022. The committee chairperson, Mwine Mpaka, has warned that failure to comply with the summons will attract legal action. The Ministry of Works and Transport had been directed by the Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure on July 23rd, 2026 to appear before the committee on August 5th to respond to issues regarding the operations and management of express toll. However, the committee members expressed disappointment after the ministry officials led by Minister Fred Byabakama failed to appear despite having been formally notified. Committee chairperson Mwine Mpaka said the officials are expected to explain the procurement process that led to the appointment of the private toll operator and why the contractor has reportedly not been audited for several years. Mpaka adds that with more toll roads planned, including the proposed Mpigi toll road, Parliament must understand the challenges affecting the current toll system to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Following the ministry's failure to appear, the committee has issued fresh summons requiring the ministry officials to appear on August 6th, which is today, and failure to comply will result in legal action in accordance with parliamentary procedures. And finally, from the local scene, since 20th July 2023, government through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development and the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization Company started implementing the Electricity Access Scale-Up project. Government received $608 million in funding for the World Bank for the implementation of the Electricity Access Scale-Up project, EASP, to be implemented over a period of 5 years. The Minister of Energy, Okasia Opolot, has informed the Parliament of the process. Okasia noted that there has been slow pace of new consumer connections by UEDCL due to low suppliers given tenders to supply connection materials not meeting their obligation in timely manner. He added that the project needs about 40 billion shillings to compensate project affected persons. With the reality on ground, the MPs found the minister's statement wanting. After succeeding from Umeme, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited, through Ministry of Energy, has so far made 79,000 connections out of the 896,600 targeted connections. Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa directed Minister to return to Parliament next Tuesday with a comprehensive report on issues raised by members to make conclusive decisions. The project has 5 components, including grid expansion, connectivity, financial intermediation, energy access in refugee hosting communities, project implementation support and affordable modern energy solutions, and contingent energy response. And with that story, we now come to the end of our local stories, where compensation. World Bank gives us money for a project, but now you need about 40 billion. You think about that money to compensate affected persons. 40 billion can also still do very much on the project.
All right.
But we need to compensate people that are going to be affected by the project. And I don't think that World Bank, that is something that our donors, they may give you money for the project. Now, compensation, they believe, give your land. If an electric pole is going to pass, give your land.
Yeah, those are not some of their liabilities to handle. Let's head straight to the global scene. We're starting off, of course, with the sports story of Infantino, who has really caused a lot of chaos in matters of football with trying to sell shares to the to the FIFA Forward Enterprise, by the FIFA Forward Enterprise. Now, Gianni Infantino did apologize. Finally, he apologized for errors he made in the controversial plans to sell off-stakes in the competitions to private investors. But he will remain FIFA president after all, and that is after receiving a backing of senior executives in a meeting in Morocco. That was something that many people did not expect. Many thought that he would leave, but he has received the backing of senior executives in that line. And Infantino summoned members of the management board to FIFA's Africa office in Rabat on Wednesday, following mounting criticism of his aborted proposals, with World Football Governing Body releasing a statement of support 4 hours after the meeting ended. This is on top of European football's governing body UEFA and much criticism that came from within FIFA. A very good morning to you. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nataba with Robert Chirabo in Nyonyintono, and it's time for The Real. Let's talk about matters education. Now, schools have defied government timetable, shows a report. And this report was conducted by the National Assessment of Progress in Education, NAPE. Now, the government of Uganda, by mandate, set aside 8 a.m. to 2:45 to 2:50 p.m. as the school hours allowed for teachers to teach pupils and students, especially at lower secondary curriculum. However, the report shows it is a new government study that has found that many schools are not complying to the timetable mandated by the government, 8 a.m. to 2:50 p.m. Now, the study shows that 98.9% of secondary schools in the country are teaching beyond the prescribed hours, taking over periods that had been designated by the government. Now, it shows that 64.2% of school teachers were conducting extra lessons either before 8 a.m. in the morning or even over the weekends. And the NAAP carrying out this study found out that did this study, and it was the first for learners under the new curriculum of the competence-based curriculum, but the first of its kind in 11 years. Let's chew on this particular one. Why do you think schools defy the government timetable? What practical measures can the government implement to harmonize school timetables and enhance learning outcomes? You can share your opinion to 0709602592, that is by WhatsApp, and also share via our X handle at UBC TV Uganda, and the hashtag is UBCGMU. Robert, as someone who has school-going children, you can as well paint the picture of what it exactly is like. Do they wake up as early as 5 a.m. to go to school because they're picked up by a school shuttle? Do they have extra lessons before 8 a.m.? Do they leave home over the weekends to have extra lessons, as they are called? Are they coached during their holidays? What exactly are you seeing?
Well, thank you very much, Julie, and I want to thank government for coming up with the lower secondary curriculum that we've praised so much, that actually this is going to change things.
Right. Because
we are going to have students that are hands-on, and whatever level, if someone stopped in senior 4, they can do something. We are moving away from the theoretical and cram work to practicals,
right,
where children can think, children can put into action what they have studied to solve problems, because that is the purpose of education. Now, unfortunately, This is not happening, according to this report, in majority of schools. But we also must have a brief history of education in this country. And the viewer, listen critically to this and know where we went wrong. Julie, education in Uganda was first brought by the missionaries. And they built schools, one would say, or by our colonial masters, because the Bible followed and the gun was behind. Now, they wanted to educate people who are going to help them administer, extend their rule. That's why you see that the people they were training, secretaries, doctors, people who are not hands-on, to help them administer, to be administrators. Now, the missionaries, their aim was that. And school was not about anything else. But people understand our language, people understand how our country, things work there. Now, from the missionary schools, now we had what we call community schools. These community schools usually were from Julie and me, who come from a particular village. We have appreciated the value of education. We join hands and say, let's build a school so that children, if we are in Wuyikwe, we say, well, David Chibirango, so and so, have appreciated the value of education. I get another person, or I personally will build a school for the community. I don't know if you've ever come across those schools. So and so community school, community school.
Yes.
Now, their aim was nothing to do with the money, but ensuring that the community is educated. Now, from there, hell broke loose. When the church schools, the missionary schools, some were later handed over to government. When the community schools, some were handed over to government, or some remained there. But now we opened up. We liberalized, and commercialization of education came in. Where today I'm selling shoes in Chikubo, the next day I have a school. I'm working on TV here, the next day I start a school. I get a loan and I'm told, when you begin a school, it is profitable, it is a business. Now, with high commercialization of education, there came this grading system.
Right.
And the best marketing tool of any school is how your students perform. Now, with the new curriculum, we must understand how much in terms of percentages in grading does it earn my child. I'll give an example. When I was at Mengo Senior Secondary School, we had exams. We had weekly exams. We had beginning of term, and Saturday we were doing papers. I don't know if they're still doing that. Then end of term. Now, this beginning of term, I think, would carry 15%, mid-term 15%, then end of term would have a percentage, plus these tests you do during the weekend.
What? It was a system as though university.
Yes. When I was in Deje still, we had beginning of term has 15, mid-term has 15, then the rest you get at end of term. Now, when you look at the current curriculum, the theory, and when I talk about theory, I mean the exam the child writes. And these practicals you brought in under the new curriculum, the continuous assignment, these practicals, the projects they do, what earns more marks? What earns more marks is the paper test. What earns more marks is the laboratory. These ones I'm going to do. The whole system. Now, if you're an owner of a school and you're told classes begin at 8, at 2:50 you have a break for these children to research, for these children to rest, then come back later. Now, that is valuable time.
Right.
Schools today will tell you, and I know parents, this you know very well, that for us, you go to a school and ask them, Mr. Chirabo, for us we are okay. What is for third term? We study in second term. and a parent you're proud, you forget that the people at the National Curriculum Development Center, the people that develop the syllabus, the Ministry of Education, framed properly that children per day must study these hours and rest these hours. Now, school starts at 6, not preps, or at 5 actually. 6 preps are done. But what happens, the preps, a teacher is teaching. I went to a traditional school. Now, A-level, my father takes me to a non-traditional school along Entebbe Road. The traditional school preps, there was no teaching. It was you would come, revise your books. And we knew preps is revising your books. Now I go to this other school, preps, I see a teacher teaching. Now, the brain of this child already has started class at 5 or at 6. Now, they get a break. After the official time to close, the students again have extra lessons. Then again in the evening, they tell you that child must come back again for prep. You're like, but I have a big home, he has a study room, he can revise his books. No, because we teach them. We want to cover second term work in first term. So that in second term, we cover third term. Third term, we are just revising. Now, unless the ministry comes up with a method that what is getting more marks for this child is these projects they are doing, this research they have done on their own. But as long as we still have these exams that are brought, then they are shaken in front of you, then you're seated spacing each other, where you have to regurgitate, where you have to bring back what you crammed. Judy, I want to tell you something funny. Recently, I was invited to one of the big schools in Kampala to speak to them. They have what they call career day.
Right.
So somehow they go to me. Now I asked a simple question. It's one of the best performing schools to a student. Randomly asked a kilo of feathers and a kilo of stones. Which one weighs more? Which one weighs more? To you, Judy.
Oh, you're asking me?
A kilo of stones and a kilo of feathers.
A kilo of feathers, it's both a kilo.
So which one weighs more?
Which one weighs more? I think it's stones, because feathers are light.
Now.
But it's both a kilo. So yeah, they're both equal. I would think it's both a kilo.
Okay, you're right. But most people, now, because our children are taught cram work, one would say a kilo of feathers. And I mean, feathers, I mean a kilo of stones. Now, this teaching where a child does not understand.
Critical thinking.
Yes. As long as we leave that to bring more marks.
Right.
At the end, that examiners are going to sit somewhere, then you look at what a child put on paper. Schools are not going to invest and give students and give pupils this time research, simanyi rest. That's why you find today you'll ask us a director of a school, but where is the playground? Right. Just let me conclude with this. When do we have music, dance and drama? When do we have debates in your school? He will ask you if your neighbor when do we have sports?
There's no co-curricular activity.
Because what is marketing is first grades they have gotten. That is the marketing tool. Now, these other things you're talking about that are not contributing high to that are not a priority.
Now, statistics also show that in this particular report, comparison between government and private schools. And according to these findings, there was no significant difference in the proportion of learners rated in proficiency in mathematics. Private schools scored at 66.5% given the strategy that they use in having extra hours of study. And government schools were at 60.1%, not so far from each other. And in addition to the proportion, boys rated proficient, the boys' rate was higher than that of the girls, both in private and government schools. So therein the question would be, do you think schools should anyways be given the freedom to monitor, to decide how they handle their curriculum based on circumstances, on as to what they are facing as the school, as opposed to the government giving a mandate? Should the government stop on it anyways? Because it looks like the government has tried, but the vice still continues. And in fact, the Minister of Education, Acting Minister of Education and Sports, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, also said that the report is very helpful because it's helping the ministry see how best to implement and where loopholes have been. But it's been quite the song, right? Isn't it? So do you think schools should be given the freedom?
Why can't we give the schools freedom? Because you can't be a judge in your own case.
Interesting analogy, right?
You can't. These schools will exploit our children until they are broken. I want to tell you, because for me as a school director, what I want is passing. I went to one of the schools where I had corporal punishment, and my director, then doctor, he's a doctor. I won't mention the name. He would say, "Njakuba kuba paka and first grade zange muzirese."
I was also in a school where we were caned
Paka
for performance.
So you literally see that the director of the school is not interested in anything but his first grades. Now, even if your children are going to reach a point where they fall sick and you pick them and take them and they tell you this child, and we've seen this, Julie, akana karwara candidate, then they will tell you the child is fatigued. He's fatigued.
Right. And fatigue is real, unfortunately.
And when you speak to your daughter, she'll tell you, "Daddy, at 5 we are in class. We rest when we are taking breakfast.
Right.
We come back. Lunchtime, sometimes even lessons extend. We are the last to go. We are given a few minutes to eat." As if they're in a military academy. You know? Because that's why I see people who go of my size and come back when they have shrinked and very fit for job. Now, these school directors, Julie will not care to give a phone call and say, "Mama Chirabo, please pass by. Chirabo is not fine." You take this child, so the ministry must regulate and enforce. Because for me, I want this child either sick or what? You go to a school and children have cannulas like these sluts we see, who have them because of infections. These ones are just stressed. So it becomes a problem. We need the ministry to regulate these hours because, one, these are experts. I want to repeat this. Government employs experts. I think they have psychiatrists when developing this time. They have all those you can talk about. And they know that at this age, this brain can accommodate concentration levels up to this time. Now, for a teacher who is not an expert, for a director who was a fisherman and began a school, who was a car dealer and began a school, they don't understand that a brain of an 8-year can have effective concentration for only 45 minutes. After that, you have that person. Some of these teachers act like some born-again pastors. You preach to people for 4 hours. They are no longer even understanding, apart from shouting, "Hallelujah, hallelujah." So some of them don't have that judgment and knowledge. Now, if they're not regulated, we will have this
interesting analogies you use there, Robert.
Because you must
allow me not divert, but let me get into the comments section. And we do thank you for watching the show and following the conversation as we discuss schools defying government timetable. Kimaleni Michael, but for you to speak into this, what practical measures can the government implement to harmonize school timetables and enhance learning outcomes? The conversation will definitely even continue on our X handle in the aftermath of it, and the hashtag is UBCJNU. Some of the comments coming through. I'm Kimaleni Michael, watching you live from Bududa District. I'm a teacher by professional of physics and math. To my understanding, I thought that this new curriculum would have less theory work than practicals. But when you look at UNEB, the way they set its opposite, it's the opposite of the curriculum. Without teaching and testing these learners more, they can't pass UNEB. And again, schools are still competing for marks. Therefore, UNEB and NCDC, they don't relate at all. Otherwise, thank you for the show. Kimaleni Michael raises a very pertinent point here. The mere fact that the very UNEB that introduced the competence-based curriculum, when it comes to setting of exams, they don't exactly relate or correlate or interact with what is being taught throughout the term in line with competence, the practicability of things. So
that's why I said if that was earning more, say that the theoretical takes only 15% and the other is gotten from that competency.
Right.
I want to tell you, Judy, now schools would even not teach. But
all right, the schools, this is Reverend Captain David Stenya, and you are in Boyikwe district. We do appreciate you so much. And he says, Nyonyi Ntono, money has brought demons in many schools. Children fail to speak, I think. Okay, children cannot speak what you understand. Demons can break children's legs, hands without power in the body. This is happening in Uganda because of bad people for money making. The schools will exploit our children if the government is not careful. Even today, many inspectors are not helping head teachers and directors to manage the situation. And finally, good morning, Julie and Robert. Well, I'm Phillips from Karamoja. Schools defy government timetables because the DEOs and DISs office are going to their work to enforce government policies. This is because some of them are not competent and knowledgeable enough to guide teachers and head teachers. Central Inspectorate of Education is seen to carry out regular supervision to check on what is going on and what to act upon. This may mean there is no facilitation in terms of fuel. The government is overall to maintain quality assurance, and so all institutions should follow. That's number 3. And number 4, recruitment is the main factor. Who is who and who knows who? Number 5, enforcement is completely very low. Number 6, the teaching methods have been adulterated completely, and the type of teachers teach for examinations and not for skills, knowledge, attitude, and value acquisitions. What it claims to be a new curriculum is how we are being taught. We were being taught in 1978 and 1990. That what is claimed as a new curricula, the competence-based curricula, is actually what was in the 1970s, between 1978 and 1990. And finally,
I don't know.
I know, but Kimaleni Michael, Phillips from Karamoja does share that experience. Good morning, Uganda. My name is Nuamanya Brayton. What's so surprising is that you realize most school proprietors never even went to school. And you can wonder how management is handled. However,
I quoted fishermen and journalists and business people.
Now the author here has worsened it. They never went to school at all. However, to some extent,
it's true. You meet a director of a school in some villages there.
To some extent, parents have also given up on their own children. Those days, our parents would even punish you from school. Well, we do thank you very much for being part of the conversation and contributing. It does continue at Alex's handle, where we are able to engage even on our personal handles. So please head over there and let's interact. Let's build the nation of Uganda together, and let's involve all these policy makers, officers, government officers who are part of the policies to see these views at the end of the day, where laws are made and trickle down to society. We bring it to a close. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. We do have the business agenda as well, sports as well. So the day, you could say, is still young and starting you off on the right note. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax. How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Hi guys, Alan County Msaja wamwe nzize. For sure, this is my first time where on Queen Elizabeth, and guys, we had a chadala in Solomweziri. And we've actually gotten a chance never to kill his kubanga they even, you know, the lion can come out. The journey kuwataichin maxado. So, but it's very interesting. Wali wonechile leopard tuchirabe wali. Bakuba chibade chagala kulya mmere ne tuchikanga munayenga. Yeah, so mwebiri mulimu buffalo tuchirabyeko. Akwati mwabo mwagala chita buffalo na enze chita buffalo. So nacho chibaddemu tulabye bukobzi mwana bulungi nnyo batugambye abaye bamuno batera obulya naye. Yeah, so we buli actually mu background buli eri buwumudde kasola banga buwumudde ng'omanya omulabe taliiwo naye kasita buyimirira standby ng'omanya bagala bulya for lunch naye bagayi mujje mwana mulabe ku bino ebintu mwana eggwanga lyaffe man linyirira bisolo gyebiri Katonda alabika eno yawaayo obudde bungi kitegeera yasookera eno kati agenda otuuka ebwayise ng'akooye. So mujje wano mweyagale so kati ffe tukinyumiddwa oluva wano tugendagendako mu kiboat cruise. Tomanya tuyinza n'olya ku nyama ya kawuzi.
Okay, as of yesterday, I have now been known as the fun facts person. So these are some fun facts about leopards. Now, leopards have rosettes instead of dots or spots because their spots are not actually like one dot. It's more like a colon, like two colons together. And they're called rosettes because they look like open roses. Have you ever seen an open rose? Yeah, exactly. Now, another fun fact about them is they can jump over 6 meters vertically, not horizontally, vertically. Do you know how high that is? Yeah, exactly. Now, another fun fact about leopards is, anyway, they have 5 paws in the front and 4 paws in the back. Now, I don't know how true this is because I didn't get to see it up close, but I think they have 5 paws in the front and then 4 paws in the back. Now, the one we saw today is called Shan. Her mother was called Grace. I think that was the first one that they had in this park. And she unfortunately died. But Shan is beautiful, is majestic, is graceful. And I think you guys should come and see her in person. I feel like I've oversold it to you. But when you get here, the experience itself it will tell you that you need to come back over and over and over and over again. Anyway, again, I want to tell you guys that tourism is literally a way to show your country that you love it. So come September 25th to the 27th, come and experience Uganda for yourselves, come and experience your home for yourselves, and I cannot wait to see you guys there.
Hi guys, I have just seen Shan. Shan is a very beautiful leopard, and Shan is a mother. Shan is 7 years old, but she's a mother. We have not seen her children because, like all mothers, Shan is very protective of her children. She's the only one who knows where her children are. But the most beautiful thing about Shan, by the way, I'm going to keep reminding you, Shan is the leopard, that beautiful creature we have just seen. She has beautiful eyes, guys. When she opened them like this, I was like, who is that? Who is that? Oh, what is that? The eyes, they have like a hint of gold, like yellowish gold. Oh, stunning. Stunning. This is something you're not supposed to miss. Come 25th, 26th, and 27th of September. This is something you can experience for free. The whole of East Africa, come see the beauty that is a leopard. I mean, guys, she looks so good and she walks so gracious. She was going to hunt, and the way she like you could see the energy when she was like, you know, it's, I don't know, it's called what, setting off. She wanted to set off to like give herself that jump. Oh, I was like, what a magnificent creature God can create.
I am mesmerized. I've just seen the most beautiful print. The real life print. I mean, we see animal prints, clothes everywhere, but like seeing a leopard in real time, it's so beautiful, and then the way it walks, it's so cute. I'm so excited, I'm so happy to see it. I want to see more, but guys, come through for the Open Parks Day. You're gonna see beautiful pictures. I said God is an artist because, I mean, wow. Like, I'm so overwhelmed. Everything is so cute. Like, you see these animals, but then when you're close to them, it's a different feeling. Like, it's real life and it's very beautiful. So come through and have an amazing time.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome to Business Now. Uganda Airlines has expanded its Africa network with the launch of scheduled service to Kigali in Rwanda and Accra in Ghana. The two routes strengthen the national carrier's regional footprint and expected to boost passenger traffic, tourism, trade and business travel through Entebbe International Airport as the airline continues to grow its continental network. Let's take a look at this.
Uganda Airlines is adding Kigali and Accra to its roadmap, extending its network deeper into East and West Africa. For Kigali, the airline is opening one of the last missing links in its regional network, though to some, it has come 7 years late.
The day one that we mounted Uganda Airline, we should have gone to Kigali. This is the nearest city to Uganda. The two countries have a lot in common. A lot of families have connections.
Government says every new destination strengthens Uganda's air transport network and supports efforts to grow trade, tourism, and investment through aviation.
These routes will not only strengthen bilateral relations, but also contribute to the realization of the African Continental Free Trade Area by making travel and commerce across our continent more accessible and efficient.
We are building a network that connects Uganda to the region, to the continent, and to the wider world. Each new destination must serve a larger purpose, supporting national development, improving connectivity for travelers, and creating long-term value for the Ugandan people.
The Accra service gives Uganda Airlines another gateway into West Africa. The route will initially operate through Lagos, allowing the airline to tap into traffic across the East-West African corridor while building passenger demand.
And Uganda is in a very, very, very good position to attract this group and show them the beauty of Uganda.
Uganda Airlines management says the service will eventually dovetail into a non-stop Entebbe-Accra operation once passenger loads justify a direct flight. On his part, Rwanda's High Commissioner to Uganda welcomed the new service, saying the additional flights will expand travel options and further strengthen relations between the two neighboring countries.
Going to Kigali with Uganda Airlines, so that now we have more opportunities, more alternatives. We have Rwanda Air, we have Uganda Airlines and the others.
The spotlight will in the next few months shift from launching the routes to filling the seats. Uganda Airlines is yet to announce its introductory fares for either destination. On the Kigali route especially, it enters a market dominated by cross-border bus operators and just one direct airline. Uganda Airlines' pricing strategy will most likely shape the opportunity cost travelers attached to flying instead of spending several hours on the road. Samuel Senono, UPC News.
Well, thank you, Samuel. Now, the Ministry of Works and Transport has directed all Sino-Truck owners to present their vehicles for mandatory inspection within 60 days. Any truck that fails to undergo the inspection will be barred from operating on the road. The Commissioner for Transport at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Winston Katushabe, conducted an abrupt inspection at several Sino-Truck parking areas, citing the increasing number of road clashes involving these trucks.
Following the rising number of road crashes involving snow trucks, the Ministry of Works and Transport carried out an inspection to establish the mechanical condition and maintenance standards of the vehicles.
All drivers who operate these snow trucks must be accredited. We want to find out who are these drivers. So we are not going to continue drive the way they want. No. We must have order on the road.
The ministry has directed that all snow trucks undergo mandatory inspection within 60 days to establish their roadworthiness. The inspection will be conducted at the ministry's inspection station in Namamve.
The sino trucks, I'm going even to give instruction when the press is here. All sino trucks, Kashanku, we want to see these sino trucks inspected. I am going to issue a letter. 60 days, all sino trucks within the Greater Kampala must undergo inspection.
The ministry warned that any snow truck that fails to undergo the mandatory inspection will not be allowed on the road. Besides inspecting the vehicles, the ministry also plans to organize special engagement sessions with snow truck drivers to assess their driving skills and promote safer road use.
If your sino truck operates in Kampala within the Greater Kampala region, and in 60 days it is not inspected, we are going to impound it. We are going to impound it. So let's look at this now. As we inspect licensing officers, we are going also to register, to vet these drivers of sino trucks.
Ministry officials also inspected bus terminals to assess the roadworthiness of buses before departure. The team visited Namirembe Bus Park and other terminals where they also raised concerns over hygiene standards.
Would like to see passengers moving, but with a very clean environment. You can't have this kind of cargo. You have these trucks mixed up with the passengers. That is not right. And as a ministry, we commit to improve this and make sure that passengers, when they are traveling, they travel safe.
The ministry affirmed its commitment to ensuring that only roadworthy vehicles operate on Ugandan roads. Officials revealed that the next enforcement operation will target taxi operators after engaging relevant stakeholders on improving the management of public transport in the city. Abudu Nasele Lobwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Thank you, Nasiri and Rogers, for that story. All Sinotrucks must undergo mandatory inspection within 60 days, those in the Greater Kampala. And now let's move to Forex. As of yesterday, Wednesday, August 5th, and this very year. Now beginning with the United States dollar, that is buying at 3,727.48, selling at 3,737.48. The Great Britain pound goes at 515.32 and sells at 531.39. The euro buys at 4,299.64 and sells at 4,311.93. The Kenyan shilling is at 28.76, buying, selling 28.92. Tanzanian shilling buying is at 1.39 and selling at 1.42. The Rwandan franc is at 2.52 and selling at 2.54. Now, in case you want to do some exchange, that is as of yesterday. And that brings us to the end of our business segment. We'll go for a break. And when we return, Julie Nantaba Musisi will be taking us through the agenda. Thank you for being with us. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years. Out of the womb, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.